Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is your host Majestic speaking with another episode of Mech Warrior Online here. And today is part 2 of the Mech Warrior Online Black Friday sale guide. And originally what I was going to do is go through every single one of the hero variants and tell you which ones are worth it, which ones are not worth it, and pretty much just give you an opinion as to whether or not it's actually worth going out and purchasing if you guys were considering going out to get any hero variants for yourselves. But what I decided was I want to actually compartmentalize each video so that you guys can pick and choose which ones you actually want to learn more about, which one you actually want to watch, not have to skip back and forth in the video to see, one particular weight class versus another. So for today, I figured, you know what, I'm just going to go through the light mech. So any of you guys who really love light mechs and you want to know more about the hero variants and which ones I think are the best value for you to actually purchase if you were to actually purchase one on the Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. I'm going to go through each of those, formulate my, give you guys my opinion on it, and pretty much go through the best mech that you can buy and then the best value for a mech to buy. So let's dive right into the nitty-gritty here. We're going to go into the store, and if we first look at the mech at the top of the list, the Commando, the Death Snell. And first, we're going to look at the hard points. We have 0 ballistic, 4 energy, 0 missile, 1 AMS, and 0 ECM. Now, if I look at the quirk summary to go along with that, you have energy heat generation 5%, energy range 10%, or a rate of heat loss 6%, and then the rest of it caters towards structure and armor bonuses. Now, one thing I want to point about this mech is I just don't find it as valuable as some of the other ones in the list. And when you're looking at only 4 energy hardpoints, not offering anything else weapon-wise for this mech to, be placed on it, you're pretty limited in your options. You want to have a great combination of speed. You want to obviously have great amount of firepower for a light, so if you're scouting around or even if you want to be a brawly light mech, this mech just does not offer a very convincing amount of one thing or another, whether it's, the quirk summary list or anything like that. Really, the best benefit that this mech has are those structure bonuses. So it is very durable out there on the battlefield. But when you look at the 4 energy hardpoints, how I have mine configured, I bought it for, so that I could see exactly how this thing performed out there on the battlefield, and I just wasn't very impressed. How I have it configured is just 4 medium pulse lasers, and then I put in an XL210 engine in there, so it goes 136 kph, and it was mediocre at best. I died kind of quickly whenever I did want to actually engage my targets. You have these very kind of low-slung energy hardpoints that are below the cockpit, and that's really all you have to battle with. You don't really have much else to help out unless you want to put something in that AMS hardpoint and really just help any mechs that are getting pinpointed with missiles, including yourself. So personally, I would not actually go for this mech on the Black Friday sale date. If it were available for for 50% off MC. They haven't named the list of which mechs are going to be available for 50% off, but this is certainly one that I would stay away from if it is offered for half price. It also comes at a whopping $1,875, which if we cut in half is what, 937.5 MC. So they'll probably round it up to 938 if this were half price. And I'm just thinking along the lines of what's actually valuable and what's not. Unless you're a Commando fanboy or fangirl, I just don't see this mech performing in the sense that you guys would probably want it to, and would probably be a waste of the MC if you guys were to purchase an MC pack. So I would probably stay away from this Commando, the Death Snell, unless you are a fanboy, you love the Commandos. This guy also does not have jump jets, which some of the other mechs in this list do. So it is not able to jump around on the battlefield and even take advantage of utilizing those low-mounted hard points. So personally, I just would not go out and get this for myself if I were you guys. Let's move on to the Firestarter, the Ember hero variant. Now, this guy has 4 ballistic, 4 energy, 0 missile, 1 AMS, and 0 ECM. Getting a little better, and the only reason why I say that is because obviously the stock loadout that this thing comes with 4 flamers and 4 machine guns actually cater to the quirks that they placed on this thing. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but I'm not saying it's a horrible thing either. You have flamer range bonus of 15%, machine gun rate of fire bonus of 25%, and laser duration bonus of 10%. So, you know, with those 4 energy hardpoints, obviously you could do a mix. You could do 2 flamers and then 2 energy, 2 lasers or something like that if you want to take advantage of all the quirks. Or you could leave it with the stock loadout and just take advantage of the machine gun and the flamer quirks. Or you could just go with the, the laser duration machine gun quirks, or, any sort of variation thereof. It's really up to you what you guys want to do with it. How I have it configured is I wasn't a fan of flamers originally when I purchased it, so I put medium pulse lasers, 4 medium pulse lasers on there, and then 4 machine guns with 2.5 tons of ammo, so that, it's pretty much just an annoyance. It's more of a pestering kind of light mech. Not the best one in this list by any means. But again, if you are a Firestarter fan, and you just want to purchase it for, to have the full collection of them, if you love Firestarters, then go for it. It also comes at 2600 MC, which is almost 1.5 times that death knell that I just mentioned. So, personally, I wouldn't actually go for this mech if I hadn't already purchased it. The Firestarter FS9S is like my favorite Inner Sphere Light. And I'd rather just spend the C-bills to purchase that mech than the MC to purchase this hero. But for all intents and purposes of the video, again, I'm going to reinforce the same decision that I said last time. I wouldn't go for the Death Knell, nor would I go for the Ember, the Firestarter Ember, either. But let's move on to the next mech in the list, which is the Jenner Oxide. And now we're starting to talk, ladies and gentlemen. This was definitely one of those meta build mechs for an Inner Sphere Light for a very, very long time. And only until recently did they actually tone down the quirks that buff this thing up so tremendously. When you look at those quirks, and you look at the hard points that cater to it, you have 0 ballistic, 0 energy, 4 missile, 1 AMS, and 0 ECM. Now with that quirk summary list, you have missile heat generation bonus of 5%, missile cooldown bonus of 15%, and missile velocity bonus of 10%. Now you could stack modules on top of that to make your missile cooldown and range better. So you could put a 12% increase in range if you have a max level module for it, and you can buff that missile cooldown bonus to 27% if you want to put, either SRM4 or SRM6 cooldown on there. How I have it configured is with SRM4s, and I can show you guys exactly what I built it out as. Where is it? Here he is. So I placed SRM4s on there. I didn't place Artemis because normally with SRM4s you don't need Artemis. It's when you get to SRM6s that you need Artemis. So you're saving tonnage in that capacity, putting SRM4s on there, and then just filling the rest with ammo and cramming an XL270 in there. It goes 134 kph. Now you guys can kind of understand why this was such a meta build at the time, and it was used heavily in competitive gameplay. Now it is one of the most expensive mechs that you can buy. Again, it actually comes at the same price as that Firestarter Ember. So, in comparing the two, obviously, I would 100% pick the Jenner Oxide over the Firestarter Ember. You also have a ton of structure bonus and, acceleration, deceleration rate, turn rate, and stuff like that on there as well. So, obviously, it is a little bit more expensive, but with the Friday sale prices for the MC packs and everything like that, if they were to cut this, price in half, you're looking at, what, $13.12 or $13.13 if they round up. So, if we look at the actual prices on the, let's see here, on the Black Friday deals here, you could essentially buy this mech for $7, less than $7, because you're only utilizing $13.13 out of the $1,500 that you would be getting for the $7. Now, if we looked at what it is in the store by itself, it's $11. So you'd be getting it for probably, like, when it comes out to it, I don't know the exact calculation of it, but you'd be looking more along the lines of, say, $6, something like that. So for the Jenner Oxide, obviously that is a very, very powerful light mech. It's got a ton of structure, and the hard points cater to the quirks and vice versa. So it definitely, you could cram a huge engine in there, the weapons and the hard points, the loadout and everything like that. You know, it's not conducive to absorbing a ton of tonnage, a lot of tonnage for this mech. So it's definitely a good buy if you do like Jenners, if you like being a short range, brawly kind of light mech player. It doesn't have jump jets or anything. The Ember does have jump jets. That is one thing I didn't mention on the Ember, is that it does have jump jets, so you can utilize those hard points a little bit more effectively if you are kind of trying to be like that Pop-Tart, annoying, kind of maneuvering, jumping around on the battlefield kind of player. The Oxide does not offer that, so you have to take that into consideration as well. You are land bound. You cannot leave the ground. But again, those quirks, the acceleration, deceleration, structure bonuses and everything, they really did this mech some justice in pretty much saying, this is the role that you should play with it. And, they buffed it up with some structure and everything to make it a little bit more appealing, especially when you're taking it out as an inner sphere light on the battlefield. But let's move on to the next one, the Locust Pirate's Bane. Now, this guy is very, very interesting. It's the only hero variant offered that actually has ECM. It has 2 ballistic, 4 energy, 0 missile, 1 AMS, and again, that 1 ECM hardpoint. So it's the only one that could actually provide ECM coverage for the rest of your team, which is kind of critical, and a lot of people really take that into consideration when they're purchasing their mechs. Now, it has acceleration, deceleration, and armor bonuses, rate of heat loss bonus of 18%, energy range of 10%, energy cooldown of 20%, and machine gun rate of fire of 20% as well. So what people like to do with this is obviously take advantage of all the quirks that are available to it and the hard points that cater specifically to those quirks as well. So with the ballistic hard points, you have 2 of them, and obviously on a light mech, you probably want to stick with those machine guns just so you don't chew up a lot of tonnage, and you probably would only be able to utilize 1 ballistic hard point out of the entire mech if you were to really cater to something else. So placing 2 machine guns on there is pretty standard. What people like to do with the energy hard points is a perfect weapon group system with it is small pulse laser. So the small pulse machine gun combo is an excellent way to maneuver this mech around the battlefield. It's one of the most annoying mechs to take out there on the battlefield. Very tough to hit, great hit boxes, very elusive. And essentially, you could play it in one of 2 ways. You can either, do it as a means of getting across to the other side of the battlefield undetected with that ECM coverage, or provide an ECM umbrella for your team and pretty much, get all those pesky lights that might be bothering your assaults away from the rest of your team by, having that short-range brawly build and, again, keeping everyone under that ECM umbrella. So you definitely have some quirks that cater to this mech pretty well. It comes with 4 small lasers, the ECM, and 2 machine guns. So you can mess around with it as you will, but I do recommend if you were to purchase this mech to leave the 2 machine guns, leave the ECM, and then just switch out the 4 energy hard points. Probably either go with either 4 mediums, which people like to do, or 4 small pulse. So it's up to you how you want to configure it. How I have mine configured right now, I believe, is with 4 mediums. But we'll check it out really quick. Yeah, I have 4 mediums on there along with 1 machine gun and then a half a ton of ammo. So I'm not even sure how I came up with this build. I think I was trying to cater to the mediums on here so that I could get that cooldown bonus and really just keep firing these things off. But how I would probably configure it now, especially with how weapons and everything are configured at this point, and what weapon groups work well together is just like this. So you have the small pulse, the small pulse, the small pulse, small pulse, small pulse, the last one. And then probably take out, let's see. I'd either probably tone down the engine a little bit or switch this mech over to standard. So that it, you obviously are going to take up a lot more tonnage with that, but you could also put a smaller engine in there and then probably fit like 1 or 2 tons of ammo, or even just 1.5 tons of ammo, so you get like 3,000 shots or something with it. So it's really up to you what you want to do with it, but the main thing is that you have that Guardian ECM in there, and the small pulse or medium combo with the machine guns is really how people like to run it. Again, it is a very, very elusive and tough mech to hit out there on the battlefield, and it's very, very annoying. It's got great acceleration, deceleration, so it can get out of sticky situations very quickly and force your opponents to waste ammo trying to shoot you. And it also comes at a sale price of 1,500 MC right now, but during the sale, if it were to go at 50%, that would be 750 MC, which, if we do the calculation on it, if we look at what it would cost, if you're getting 1,500 MC for almost $7, you could essentially pick up this guy for $3.50, which is a pretty great deal considering what you're getting for it. It's a very, very, very unique variant. It's a very, very unique hero, and it's, especially if you're a Locust fan, I know there's like a Locust cult following kind of or like group of people in the game, and they just love their Locusts. I have people that always tell me that they love taking out the Pirates Bane specifically because of that ECM coverage, and then obviously that harassment kind of mentality with the small pulse and machine gun rate of fire and stuff like that, just constantly pinging up, coring enemies and stuff like that, and taking advantage with those critical shots. So again, that's just a little background on the Pirates Bane. That is a very good buy if it does wind up going for 50%. For $3.50 to have this variant, and it's pretty unique, and it does offer a lot for what you're getting. That is probably definitely up there along with the Jenner for what is actually valuable for the 50% off. But we're gonna move on now to the Hugin, the Raven Hugin. Now, I do have this mech, but I've never actually taken it out there on the battlefield. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I want to do with it, and if I really even feel like what PGI is trying to make this mech do is, suitable for it. So, hopefully you guys understand what I mean by that in just a second. But it has 4 ballistic hardpoints, 0 energy hardpoints, 2 missile, 1 AMS, and 0 ECM. Now, if we look at the quirk summary, everything caters to missiles. We have SRM-4 cooldown, missile heat generation, missile cooldown, missile velocity, and missile range. All bonuses between the heat generation 15%, missile cooldown 20%, along with that SRM-4 cooldown that would give you a 25% cooldown on the missiles. And then, missile velocity bonus of 10%, and then missile range of 20%. So, automatically what I'm thinking is really what you're going to do is cater to those missile hard points immediately. And based off that SRM-4 cooldown quirk, those are probably what you're going to want to fill those 2 missile hard points with, is SRM-4s, and then stick on maybe an SRM-4 range and cooldown module as well. So you get a, 37% cooldown on the SRM-4s in total. And then the range, it would go from 20% plus 12%, you get a 32% bonus with the range. Now, with those remaining 4 ballistic hard points, you have a hard time arguing placing anything other than machine guns in there. 4 machine guns, really not taking advantage of that AMS hardpoint, I think would be a suitable loadout for this thing. And then just cramming the biggest engine you can in there, but making sure you have a decent amount of ammo. So, again, all the weapon hardpoints on this mech are with, come with weapons and weapon hardpoints that have a limited amount of ammo, unlike energy hardpoints that are unlimited. So, you have to take that into consideration if this is your kind of mech and you like being a brawly light. Similar to the Jenner, but a little different in how it could actually be used out there on the battlefield, just because you're not catering specifically only to those, missile hardpoints. This guy only has 2, where the Jenner Oxide has 4. It does get some structure bonus, which thank God PGI gave it, because obviously, with all the rest of the quirks and everything, this is a brawly light mech, so you are getting up close and personal. So they give you that extra padding in the armor to make sure that you are conducive to using that strategy on the battlefield. So definitely an okay buy. It is 26-25 MC right now. Again, that would look around like 13 MC, which again, you can purchase any one of these 6 mechs for the $7 MC pack when that's available. So you can buy at least one of each of these, or not of each of them, one of these variants for that $7 MC pack, and probably have a little bit left over. No, you would have a little bit left over. What am I saying? Except for the Locust, the Pirate's Bane, you could actually afford to buy 2 of them for the price of 1 with that $7 MC pack. So, that's stuff that you have to take into consideration. If you buy an MC pack and there is one of these variants that stick out to you that you would actually want to put in your collection, definitely take all these quirks and everything and your gameplay style into consideration before actually going out and purchasing them. These are only available for MC. You cannot buy them for C-bills. So if you're going to take advantage of this kind of sale, now is the time to do it. Figure out which variant you like the most that I've talked about so far. But we still have one more variant to go through, and that is the Spider Anansi. Anansi? I believe it's the the Anansi. I'm going to say the Anansi. I believe that's the correct pronunciation. And if we look at the hard points on this guy... Oh, by the way, sorry, I forgot to mention. The Hugin does have jump jets. It does have jump jet capability, so that is an added bonus to this mech if you actually wanted to jump jet around it with it on the battlefield. Just a quick glimpse at what I have on it right now. I don't even believe I did much to it. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, I have the SRM4s. Obviously, I could take that Artemis off there. And then, just stick SRM4s on there and then place 4 machine guns, 2 in each arm. And, you have a decent brawler. I have an XL280 in there. It goes 130 kph. So, not bad. But, again, I do find two so far, the Oxide and the Pirate's Bane, to be your best bet for value and overall best light mech to use out there on the battlefield for the Inner Sphere amongst these hero variants. Now, again, the Anansi, we haven't gone through this guy yet, so maybe things will change a little bit. We have 2 ballistic hard points, 2 energy, 1 missile, 2 AMS, and then the quirk summary: missile cooldown 20%, missile velocity 10%, energy cooldown 15%, and energy range 10%, along with some structure, acceleration, deceleration, and turn rate bonuses. Now, looking at that 1 missile hard point, you could argue putting an SRM6 or an SRM4 in there to cater to that missile velocity and missile cooldown quirk. The energy range and energy cooldown bonus is really more of what you're looking for with this thing, just because you do have the energy range bonus of 10% and the cooldown of 15%, and you have 2 hard points to work with. So, if you did want to put like medium pulses or something along with that SRM4 in there, make sure you have some ammo to go along with it. And then with the remaining amount of tonnage that you have left, maybe you'll be able to fit a couple of machine guns on there and then shove as big of an engine as you possibly can in that thing. It does have a 55% acceleration-deceleration rate and a turn rate of 40%. So this thing can react pretty quickly to, if you see someone trying to target you or focus fire on you, get in and out of situations very quickly. Great hitboxes on the spiders. Very, very elusive. Small mechs, hard to hit. So that is a bonus to this mech as well. Comes at a price of $22.50, so with the sale price it would be $11.25. Again, if you did buy that $7 MC pack, you would be able to get this mech. And it's decent, but I just find the Oxide and the Pirate's Bane to be your 2 best bets. Now's the time if you were to pick up an Oxide and they put it at that 50% mark. Highly recommend getting one. Everyone that I know that has one has enjoyed playing them. It's very similar to the Jenner 2C and the missile boat variant, the short range missile boat variant of the Jenner 2C. It definitely competes with it out there on the battlefield, and it does have some structure and quirk bonuses to go along with it. So, you do have some extra value to add out there on the battlefield with the Oxide and the Pirate's Bane. Again, for the price and what you're getting and the uniqueness of only being the only variant with ECM and everything on there, this one definitely sticks out to me as as one of the mechs that I would take into consideration buying if you were to get an MC pack. But before we actually close out this video, let's again just check out the build that I already have on my Anansi. And I did place 2 medium lasers, and then in that missile hardpoint, I don't even know where this build came from. I think someone was asking me to do a narc build to take out for a competitive game or something like that. So I was a narc boat with 2 mediums, so it wasn't really conducive to any of the hardpoints or quirks that you would want to utilize this mech for. It does have jump jets, so it can navigate around the battlefield pretty quickly. If I take all of this stuff out, What I would probably do with it now is either put an SRM-6 with, you can't place Artemis, because if you did place Artemis, you would require 4 slots, or 3 slots to fill it, and you only have 2 here. So, you know, again, I'd probably stick with an SRM-4 or just a regular SRM-6, but then you have to worry about the spread of the missiles. So for now, let's just put the SRM-4 on there, and then in the 2 arms, I'd probably put a machine gun here, a machine gun here, and then, you know, I have 3 slots available, and I still do have, you know, a lot of tonnage available as well. So maybe upgrade that engine if I wanted to, probably to like a 270 I could fit in there with 2.5 tons. And then you have 2.5 tons of ammo to work with. So you could put, you know, 1 or 2 tons of SRM-4 ammo, and then half a ton of machine gun ammo. It really depends on how you want to run it. I mean, I have jump jets on here. You could take those off even if you don't want to jump jet around the battlefield. But that's an overview of each of these 6 light mechs that are available for, you know, the sale. Again, they haven't announced which light mechs will be available for the sale, but I can, you know, I could tell you. The Oxide and the Pirate's Bane are at the top of the list. The Oxide for, again, being an overall fantastic inner sphere light mech to use out there on the battlefield. It still is very potent, even with the reduction of, you know, the quirks and buffs that came originally with this variant. And the Pirate's Bane, that is your value buy. 750 MC, that's $3.50 for, again, a very unique variant, a very usable mech out there on the battlefield in any kind of scenario, whether it's in the solo queue or group queue. Definitely have some quirks to go along with it, and it's an overall blast. There's a lot of people that love taking out the Pirate's Bane. So those are my top 2 picks for, or my top picks, I should say, for best overall and best value. So if they offer either of those and you guys were considering it, I would recommend picking them up if you actually do wind up getting a mech pack. So in order, apart from these 2, I would then probably go with the Hugin and the Anansi, and then again the Ember and the Death Snell, probably the last 2 that I would purchase with my mech pack. But again, this is all my opinion, you know, subject to my opinion. So just as a disclaimer, you guys obviously, you know your strengths and weaknesses out there on the battlefield. If one of these variants sticks out to you more than the other, obviously go for it. I mean, now's the time to do it with 50% off. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please feel free to leave a comment in the section below explaining your reasoning for a particular variant of the light mechs that you would actually go out and purchase if you were to buy one. Give a reason why, if you have some of these mechs, and you can, you know, give a testimony behind them as to why you would actually purchase it for everyone else in the community who is considering buying one. Please feel free to leave it in the comment section below so everyone else can read it as well. I want to thank you guys so much again for tuning in. Check out the links that I left in the description in case you want to help out the channel a little bit more. I appreciate all the support that you guys have given me thus far. I hope you're enjoying these videos, just to give a little bit of insight as to me, what is worth it and what's not out there on the battlefield. And definitely look forward to seeing, you know, the other 3 weight classes as I go through those hero variants as well, and you know, which ones would be good buys. So thank you guys so much again for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you all on the next one. Take care, guys.